went to the drive-in. You tell them that we went to the drive-in.
The Mummy's Ghost was directed by Original LeBorn and was released on June 30th, 1944. Let's jump right into this one. We open up with a meeting with another high priest. Wait a minute. That's an Obi. So I guess he didn't die in the last movie because that's George Zuko again. So now I gotta go back and fix that last one. Oh, well, it's probably gonna get taken down anyway. I also just remembered that he was Professor Lampini in The House of Frankenstein. This is Joseph Blay, played by John Carradine. We all remember him, right? He's being sent to the United States because Karis is still alive. So I was wrong again. Bringing a house down on top of a mummy won't kill him off either. Oh, this is different though. Instead of a flashback, we have Professor Norman from the last film, still played by Frank Reacher, telling his class the history of the last two movies. Okay, that's pretty cool. These knuckleheads are, well, the first guy, they never really say his name, but I think that's Steve Barclay? If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments. And the second guy is Tom Hervey, played by Robert Lowry. And this is his lady, Amina. She's played by Ramsey Ames, who gets all shook up every time someone mentions ancient Egypt. She doesn't like to talk about it. I wonder why. Back in Egypt, Adobe tells Yusuf that Ananka is alive too, believe it or not, and he wants them both brought back to Egypt for their final resting place. Now, jump back over to the US. Mrs. Norman, played by Claire Whitney, tells Dr. Norman to call it a night, but Dr. Norman figures out how to bring Karis back. It's with the katana leaves. But that's not a good idea to use them, man. Lon Chaney Jr. is back as Karis again. He takes a stroll past Mina, and she seems to be drawn to whatever just walked past her. Black cat, nice touch. So Karis kills Dr. Norman to get his leave. Amina shows up to Norman's house and she kind of sees the mummy, but she faints. Nice tattoo. Next morning, the coroner, played by Emmett Logan, has no doubt that a mummy killed Norman. The sheriff, played by Harry Shannon, wants to know why Mina was also found at the site. They found her passed out in the garden in Norman's house. Tom shows up to check in on Amina, and the sheriff thinks he's a punk ass, though.
The murder took place after midnight. That puts us right back where we were before you come barging in here.
Ah, the tattoo, and now her hair is changing colors. What is going on here? That's a pretty big area to cover. To avoid more trouble, the sheriff does this martial law kind of thing and has all the town's men take shifts watching for the mummy while everyone else has to stay indoors. But Yosef doesn't play by any American police rules, so he gets to work finding Karis. Tom and Amina are out with their dog, Peanuts. I love that name. Out on Lover's Lane when Karis happens to walk past them. He also visits this farm. Nice way using the door, buddy. Yosef completes one part of his mission. Now he has to get the princess back. Him and the mummy sneak into the museum where the princess is. I do find it kind of funny here that Karis will use the door as he walks in and he'll shut it behind him, but he'll walk his own way out of the barn. When they try to resurrect her, they find out that her body has been taken into another form. I wonder who that is. Karis is not happy about this, so he decides to destroy everything in his path, including the guard.
Sounds like a lot of applesauce to me.
I'm gonna start using that. Two more new characters. This is museum curator Dr. Ayo, played by Leslie Sharp, and Detective Walgreen, played by Barry McLean. They are stumped over all these break-in/murders, so they're gonna head up to Mapleton. Walgreen explains to the other guys in town his idea on how to catch the mummy. He's gonna light up some of those katana leaves to bring the mummy to them, but first they're gonna dig a big hole, cover it, and hope the mummy falls in. I wonder if that's gonna work. So, trying once again too hard, Mark gets shut down, and he lets everyone know that he's taking her back to New York tomorrow to get away from all this BS. Mrs. Norman spills the beans about the amount of leaves that are needed to bring back Karis. At least she was paying attention to the hieroglyphics. So they light the leaves up. Amina and Peanuts see the mummy heading to the doctor's house. So they meet face to face, and he takes her breath away. Tom gets word of this and rushes after her. Smaller mob for this movie. Mummy takes her back to his and Yosef's hideout. Come on, man.
The birthmark of an Anka.
Ah, so her tattoo is a birthmark saying she's the princess. Okay, that makes sense now. Yosef has this strange monologue type thing here where I'm not really sure who he's talking to. I think it's his conscience, but he starts to question his mission. And now look at her hair, it's fully white now. I think ever since she saw Karis and got close to him, she's starting to age rapidly. So now Yosef decides that he wants Amina for himself. But Karis isn't down with that, so he says, "See you later," with a nasty bitch smack. Okay, let's see what Tom's got here. Nothing. Same with John in the last movie. Karis makes a run for the swamp, and Amina has really aged quite a bit too. Not sure why he went this way because the bog swallows them both up. And Tom cries. Sad ending this round. At least Peanut made it. This is going to be a strange observation about this movie, but it looks like it came out later than it really did. This looks like it came out more in the 50s with the way the dialogue is delivered. I really did not like the hero in this one, Tom. He reminds me of Ben Affleck from that episode of South Park. He plays an over-loving boyfriend, and honestly, she doesn't seem that interested in him. Peanut, though, that's the hero of the movie. Kind of wish we got a scene where we actually saw Karis come out from the rubble of the last movie, but that's okay. I understand, World War II was on, and I'm sure the budget was tight. Again, the first guy to die is the last guy from the movie, but hey, that links the last three movies all together now. I do like the makeup again on this one. Looks very good. Carradine is creepy and awesome as always. Overall, I'd say this movie was entertaining. Up next, we got The Mummy's Curse.